Hello, guys. Welcome back to another episode of the Girls Lounge podcast with your hosts, Liz and KT. And today we're getting real deep today. You're about to know us a little bit too well today. But before we get into that, like always, actually, no, not like always, make sure that you're following us and subscribe to us and that you leave a review and rate the show because that really helps us out a lot. Now we can actually really get into it. So, what we've been up to since we last speak to you guys. For me, I'm gonna give y'all some happiness before the episode gets, dark. So Monday of this past week, y'all, why did I win a giveaway? Y'all, I have like never won a giveaway like ever, I think. And like especially to like this size as well. If you're really up into like influencer culture or whatever, you have for sure heard of the brand Grey Bandit, and I won a PR package for like their upcoming holiday lounge like collection. It was so cool. All I had to do was like follow them on TikTok, tag friends, and like the video. And little did I know I was gonna get a DM from them like a couple days later. And yeah, I was so shook. I'm actually supposed to get the package tomorrow, so I'm super excited about that. And today my parents visited me, so it's always nice to see them. And it was a really good day and I needed it.
You know, Kennedy, I see the Gray Bandit giveaway winner thing being a like segue into the next time you're gonna be working with them. You have a little promo code KT15.
No, exactly. Literally, the whole day after I won, I was like, I'm literally an influencer. Like, you cannot tell me nothing. I'm literally an influencer. Like, I have a PR package on the way. And trust me, I'm going to be posting about it on my Instagram story as if they send it to me, like, because I'm an influencer.
Exactly. That's just the beginning of a long journey working with them.
Exactly. We're manifesting.
So for me, this week, on a positive note, I had a lot of like me time, and I'll talk about this a little bit later on, but just like enjoying the vibes of being alone too, you know? And this week I watched a show, and I'll discuss that a little later.
And now we're going to get into our favorites of the week. So mine is simply the podcast. I was like, I just love that every week, I get to sit down, talk to Liz, and create this podcast because this podcast is something that, we both put a lot of time in and thought in, and I can see the potential in it. So it just makes me really happy that we have this space, especially with someone like Liz.
Stop, KT. But Austin, honestly, I agree. Me and Kennedy, before we started recording, we were talking about how like I had a rough day at work today, and I'll discuss this a little later on. But we were like, Kennedy was just telling me like, oh, like we can like postpone filming today, whatever. Like it's fine, like take time for yourself. And I was like, honestly, the podcast be helping me. It's like a little therapeutic moment, and even though it's not normally like super deep that we're getting into, but it's just like a moment to take your mind off of whatever it is that's going on. So I also agree. My favorite is the podcast. And then with that, just like my me time, just really being okay with being alone and everything, because I feel like it's just like a refreshing time to just step away from like whatever's going on. So if you haven't taken a moment for yourself, this is your sign to take that moment.
I agree. Every day I have scheduled rot time to decompress.
And sometimes that's just everything that you need.
Exactly that. And now we're going to get into the race that just happened today. Filming this, so it was the Brazil GP, the last race of the current triple header. The next race isn't until 2 weeks. Pray for me. What am I going to do in these 2 weeks? I don't know. Y'all, it was a crazy weekend. So it was a sprint weekend. And I was able to watch the sprint race. It ended with a McLaren 1-2, which I was very happy about, but then it just went downhill from there. So basically the next day was supposed to be qualifying, but it's in Brazil, and I think November is like a very rainy month for Brazil, and it rains like every 3 days in November is what like someone said. And y'all, quali didn't even happen. It got pushed back because of the rain. Like it was just like so much rain that they could not do it, so they pushed it back or pushed it forward to be on race day. So it was going to be early in the morning. They would have a break, and then it would be the race. So because of that, y'all, quali was 4:30 a.m. my time. I said, oh, I'm not waking up for that. So I did it. The earliest I've ever woken up for F1 was 6 a.m. and I was really pushing it. So 4:30 a.m. I said, it sucks, I'm gonna have to miss this, but I'll just catch up when I wake up. And when I woke up, when I tell you, it was like a dumpster fire. Like when I tell y'all, I open Instagram, there's like 5 crashes in quali, so many red flags, which is actually insane. I'm like, I would have been so mad if there was a red flag and I was up at 4:30 a.m. because that means they stopped the session, got to get the track clear and all that stuff, and then they have to go back out again. And I'm like, I would have been so mad. So there were so many crashes. And like before the race, I was like listening to TikToks and stuff and catching up on my F1 Instagram people that I follow to like, I'm like, what? So much literally happened. I was like, Jesus Christ. That should have told me what the actual race was going to be like, just so hectic. And like, one thing about F1 is like, once the weather like comes into play, like the rain and stuff, it gets crazy. Like you truly never know what's gonna happen. And like even the starting like first couple rows for quali was interesting. Like it was Lando pole, and then it was, I can't remember the exact order, but I know Esteban Ocon was up there, and so was Yuki Tsunoda. Oh, and George Russell, mind you. Yuki is in a midfield team. Ocon in an outfield team or midfield team, which is crazy. So yeah, but the race ended with Max first and both Alpines on the podium, which let me tell you, Max, he started the race from 17th and got the first. And I'm not a Red Bull fan, but I do like Max as a driver. And I was like, that's actually insane. And both Alpines, like I said, were on the podium and they're a midfield team, which if y'all didn't know, Travis Kelsey and Patrick Mahomes are investors in that team. So I know they're happy that Alpine did well today. It was just so good. It wasn't a good day for McLaren or Ferrari. Carlos actually crashed out. There were 5 DNFs and he was one of them. So he crashed out. When I tell you, this was one of the longest races in my life. Like there are so many yellow flags, safety cars, red flags. I was like, oh. Like the race started at 9:30 p.m. or p.m. Oh god, 9:30 a.m. my time. Usually the race is like an hour and a half. Y'all, the race didn't end till like noon. It was so long because of like the delays and stuff. It was actually crazy. But even though the teams that I root for and the drivers I root for did not do the best today, I still am very happy with the podium because I love a good underdog story. Like, yes, midfield, get up there. And I loved it. And then it was like very cool that not Alex, that Max Verstappen was able to win this race. That was actually crazy. And you know, for once, it's good to see people on the podium that are like very, very happy to be there. All 3 of them just buzzing. And you know, I love that energy. And I feel like the rain always brings out like truly like the skill of a driver because you know not all cars are fitted for those conditions and things like that. So it was a very interesting race. Next race is in Las Vegas. I should be there, but I'm not. We could blame F1 because I entered a giveaway and guess who didn't win? So, you know, F1, I see you.
You know, you can't win all the giveaways, Kennedy.
Right, let me not be greedy. Next, we're gonna get into our pop culture and trendy topics. So first, this is for all the F1 girlies for real. If y'all don't know, Charles is dating a girl. Her first name is Alexandra. Now, the rest of her name, I'm not sure how to pronounce, so I don't want to butcher it, but it's like Alexandra Saint, then Mluex. So yeah, her. So she was like the face of Rhodes like fall, like new products campaign. They came out with new colors for like their phone cases and the lip ties, I think. Yeah, I don't know, something like that. And so she was like the face of it. When I tell you, it was iconic. Literally the most perfect person to be the face of this collab, and literally it pushed me. I'm like, okay, now I need to buy things from Rode. Like I've always been like interested, but just like really seeing it like pushed me. Like she really is an influencer without even meaning to be. And the pictures were just amazing. The BTS was cool, but of course like the toxic side of me, I'm like, I want to gatekeep her. I'm like no, the mainstream girlies don't get her. Okay, they don't know her like the F1 girlies do. But yeah, I'm just playing. But I was like, it's iconic. And like with my Christmas money, trust I will be buying Rode. I've been doing my research, and it looks like that Toasted Teddy blush looks good. And yeah, so if y'all see me with some blush on after Christmas, y'all know it's Rode.
So their marketing person basically needs a raise because they got a whole new consumer. No, but like she looks in general, she looks so iconic as is. Just literally pictures of her just walking, and she looks iconic. So like her in this photo shoot is even more iconic. They knew what they were doing.
No, like the marketing person really ate. Like they truly just open road up to like a whole new audience of people. Like I think F1, tennis, and like some other sport, maybe football. Literally, almost 50% of their fan base is women. And if you know anything about marketing and all that stuff, you know that women have the buying power. Like brands, really, that's why they really like to market to women because we spend our money. So yeah, road eight with that.
They just taking advantage of us. And then in other news, I don't think we've actually discussed this, Kennedy, like over text or anything, but there's these clips going around of Shawn Mendes, right? Because he's like on tour now, he's back to singing. And there's like this clip where he's talking about like how he struggled with with his sexuality. And it basically alludes to like he's still like discovering and everything. He doesn't make like a specific statement, but it definitely does give the vibe that like he might not be like just straight and everything, you know? I'm sure you've seen the clip, Kennedy.
I like saw a clip of it, but I like skipped through it. Like I saw a article about it first, and yeah, I'm not like really surprised. I don't know if that's a bad thing to say, just because I know people have been speculating that for a while. So I'm like, could this be true? Could this not be? But yeah, I'm just like, good for him for speaking up about it and not letting other people take the narrative.
Honestly, same. I wasn't surprised. I kind of like when I first saw the clip, I was like, oh, I think this is like something from the past. And then I kept on getting more clips of it, and I was like, oh no, like this is like he said this the other day type thing.
I need to go back and watch the full clip because now I'm like curious to see what like the full thing is.
And with that, we're gonna move on to what we're watching because I don't know, I feel like the pop culture, it been kind of dead this week. So with that, what I've been watching. I'm not gonna talk about Gilmore Girls this week because I have another show that I binged literally the other night. It was Halloween, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it was Halloween because I didn't go out Halloween. I stayed in, cozy, spooky vibes. And I started this new show that's on Hulu. I guess like Disney Plus too. That's where I watched it, where they have like that little collab. Which side note, I find that collab kind of weird because there's some stuff on Hulu that I'm like, I feel like kids shouldn't be stumbling upon this. But anyways, that's besides the point. So I was watching like TikToks and I started getting these edits. And if you know anything about me, I can be easily persuaded to watch any show based on a good old edit. Again, these people are targeting us women or something. So I got these edits and I got like a couple and I was like, oh, okay, let me go ahead and check out this show. And then so I started it Thursday night, right? Halloween. I didn't go to sleep, y'all, until like 3 a.m. Keep in mind, I have class the next day at like 9 a.m., which means I have to wake up around 8. So I literally got like 4 hours of sleep. And it was because I forced myself to go to sleep. I was like, okay, this is enough, Elizabeth. Um, Otherwise, I would have finished the show. I think I had like 2 episodes left, but I finished it the next day. And y'all, this show ate. I don't even think I've said the name of it, but it's called Rivals. And it's so like it's so good. I'm not even gonna lie. Like the first episode, I wasn't like too into it, and then I kept on going and I was hooked. Like my phone was down, it was nowhere in sight. My eyes were glued to the screen. Let me tell you specifically what it is that got me. It's the couple that I got the edit about. Kennedy, you need to go watch this show. But basically, the love language was giving like acts of service. And the guy, not gonna lie, he was kind of like he did have some icks, he did have some red flag moments, little play or whatever. But the way there was this one scene, y'all, where like this thing happened, and then later on we find out that like the guy went out of his way to help this person, all because the girl mentioned it. Yeah. Need I say less? I mean, need I say more? I rambled enough, but Kennedy, go watch this show. And if you're looking for a show, Rivals, y'all.
No, because Liz, the point about the Disney Plus and Hulu, I literally thought the same thing. I was like, I would not want kids stumbling on some of the things that are on Hulu. Like, I feel like let's keep that separate. But yes, I do have my eye on Rivals. I don't even know what's about, but I kind of want to go into it kind of blind, let myself be surprised. But I did get like, so Liz posted on her Snapchat story like, oh, like I'm watching this show, and I was like, okay. I don't even remember if she like said the name. And then literally the next day, I got TikToks. And I was like, I just knew. I said, this must be the show Liz talking about. And then I texted Liz about it. I was like, yeah, I need to watch this show. So I think this upcoming weekend, I'm going to watch it. Because honestly, I'm not really watching anything. I'm in the middle of a bunch of like stuff. And I started Cobra Kai the other day, the newest season that dropped finally. But yeah.
No, because the way everybody, I woke up the next day and I had all these snaps from people saying what show, what show, what show. Fair warning though, there is like a lot of like nudity sex scenes, which sometimes can be overdone, but it's kind of just like the vibe of the whole show. It just it works, but like fair warning, you will be seeing a little bit of everything from some people, from some characters. But yeah, it better get a season 2. I need to get more of this couple, especially with how it ended, you guys. Okay, let's move on.
And now we're gonna get into our song of the week. Wicka wicka wow. I don't know. I don't know why I did that. So mine is "Uncomfortable" by Wallows. Yeah, it's a fire song. There's so many parts I wanted to play for you guys, but stupid copyright. So I'm gonna have to play this one part. Y'all should definitely listen to the song. It's kind of a longer song, but it's so good. So as you can see, just a banger, and I'm really gonna listen to this when I'm in the shower tonight.
You just inspired me, Kennedy, to start listening to more Wallows. I have not been listening to them as much as I should be. And my song of the week is an oldie but a goodie. And I feel like it's gonna tie into this next part of this episode so perfectly. But it's "Falling" by Harry Styles. Let's just say it's been on repeat on my phone this week. And yeah, and with that, let's move on to the topic of our episode.
So the next part of this episode is going to be a little chaotic today, but that's okay. It's the girls' lounge. We're just lounging today. As you can tell by the title, me and Liz have been going through it. We're not okay. I always say the past week for me has been like the roughest week for me in terms of like mental health wise that I've had in a long time. So we're gonna talk about it. We're each gonna talk about what we've been going through, and hopefully this inspires you to check in on your friends, check in with yourself, and just have a safe space to talk about mental health. Because I've talked about this before, but mental health is a topic that I'm really passionate about, you could say.
And fair warning, this will be a little chaotic and all over the place. Just really give you a little glimpse of our brains, really see what's going up in there. If you've ever wondered, like, I wonder how Liz and KT be thinking. These next couple of minutes of us together will really show you. We literally have no outline, so we're just gonna be rambling. So, as y'all like have, if you a loyal listener to the Girls Lounge, you know that in our like life updates, I feel like Kennedy would like one week she'd be like kind of going through it, and then the next week I'd be kind of going through it, and it was just like a back and forth vibe. And I don't know, I feel like my brain right now is like empty, but at the same time so much going up there. And see, lots of words. But for me personally, I think this the Taylor Swift and Phoebe Bridgers song together really summarizes like how I've been feeling, where like they're like, how can a person know everything at 18 but nothing at 21, but nothing at 22? Don't cancel me if I forgot, I got the number wrong. But that's literally how I've been feeling, because I feel like there's so much going on. Like, it's literally our last year, we're graduating, like people are going off into their separate paths, and like, I don't know, graduate school, not graduate school, workforce, not workforce, like what the heck are you doing? And I feel like that question is like constantly shoved everywhere, and I don't know what I'm doing, y'all. Like, not only like I feel like after college, but just also I feel like I've just been going through it. Like, I don't know, I feel like I'm like the kind of person who doesn't let myself feel my emotions. Or like, I don't know, I feel like the older daughter in me, eldest sibling or whatever, of like putting myself like not first, and I feel like I've really been feeling the like consequences of not letting myself feel my emotions. I think that's where I'm at right now. I'll probably like go on more as things come up, but that's what I got for you right now, Kennedy.
So when you're talking, two things stood out to me. Wow, I sound like a discussion board. But so one, the feeling about your brain feels empty, but like so much going on at the same time. I feel that so much, like especially exactly what you're talking about. And then not even just like after school, for me, it's just like everyday life things in general, like my internship, schoolwork, even simply going to class, like it's a lot. And then that on top of like I need to get my ish together for post grad is very overwhelming. And I think for me the whole like my brain feels empty is because I'm so overwhelmed. I'm just trying to like forget about everything and just push it away. But then so I had like a little moment one day, and before it got like bad, I like posted about it, or I posted about how I was feeling on my close friends to my friends, obviously, or my private story to my friends. And I was just like, I feel like I've just like I don't know, like I kind of have like these moments of like happiness, I guess you can say. Like Liz said, there's been weeks of like, oh, like one day one of us is going through it and then the other really isn't. And I feel like when I'm not going through it, I'm like, what is that? Like I'm like, is this fake happiness? Like, is this all fake? Because it's like I have like these little high on life moments where I'm like, oh, everything's great. I feel so hopeful, inspired, blah, 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 blah. Like I know what I'm gonna do. And then I just come crashing down. I'm like, everything's fake. Like I feel so overwhelmed. I don't know what's going on right now. Like I don't even know myself right now. And then I just start spiraling.
You literally, Kennedy, summarized everything that's going on in my brain right now perfectly because it literally is that way. I feel like it's just the like moment, like there is moments of joy in my life. I'm not gonna like there's really good things that have been going on in my life and everything. But I feel like all this like other like I don't even know like the category because it's not like sad. It's like a mix of all the emotions, you know? It's not one emotion, but all this other I feel like clouds that one moment of joy and I'm like I like shut down, I feel like, you know? I don't know. I feel like I have to like take just a moment. Like when I'm alone and I don't have like quote unquote like distractions is when I really like feel all those other emotions. And it's just kind of like overwhelming because it's the only thing that's like, I don't know, like coming forth and like showing itself.
Oh, and it's almost like I kind of like beat myself down because like I do have those joy moments, and it's like so many other things in my life are good right now. So why am I letting myself feel this way? Like I'm so grateful for where I'm at. So why am I still feeling this way? And then like I just get really annoyed at myself for that.
Yes, and I feel like for me, that's just followed by just like overwhelming like loneliness. Like I have never felt so alone. And I feel like so vulnerable like talking about it because I like don't talk about it, but I feel like so alone and like I know I'm not alone. Like I know I have like really supportive friends, like my family. Like if I ever need someone, I have many people that will like come to my aid, you know? Like doesn't matter the distance, like they'll come and be at my side. But I can't help but like feel so alone right now, and I don't know why. I feel like it's a constant like all this positive stuff and then that one negative or like those negative emotions of like other just constantly battling each other right now, and it just results in me feeling like so lonely and so terrible about like literally everything, and it might be like the most minute things that like set off these thoughts in my head because like I'll literally be driving y'all and then suddenly like I think about this one thing and why did I start crying immediately like I have never cried so much compared to like these past couple weeks, and I don't know why.
No, because heavy on the feeling lonely. Like, honestly, I'm gonna be so honest. Not to sound sad, but I feel like just the way I've grown up and just, yeah, just not elementary school, but just like type of friendships I've had in middle school, high school, and then just like my college journey so far. I feel like I've just have always felt lonely, and like it's just me out here. Like at the end of the day, it's always just going to be me. And so I can just feel like really lost in those times, especially when I start spiraling because I'm like, no one will understand this. Everyone else seems like they're on it and then I'm just here. And like what you said about the littlest things can set this off, like that was literally me on Tuesday of this past week. Y'all, I can't remember the last time I truly had like an anxiety attack, and I literally had one on Tuesday over the stupidest thing. And I even texted our friend Abby because she also struggles with anxiety. So like I text her a lot about that stuff sometimes. And like it was to the point, like honestly, I haven't had this bad anxiety since like I started Mets, to be honest, which was close to a year ago at this point, I think. Yeah, something like that. And yeah, I was not well. And it was really something stupid. So essentially, like I got a flyer about like a marketing club, and I texted, our group chat about it. And, I was just going to complain really like, ugh. And then like, I was just like, cause like time is a big trigger for me. Like being on time, being prepared, like, cause it's like my anxiety does well when I'm on a routine. So when I'm not in a routine, that really sets me off. And, and then people were like, go. And I was like, and that just like really like it wasn't that they said that, but like those words just really like hit me like a truck because I was like, I wish I could go, but like I literally cannot go. And I just got so anxious about it. I just started spiraling. I was just like, oh my god, am I doing something wrong? Like, what is wrong with me? Why can't I just do it? Like, it's not that serious. Like, like I know for me, like it's good that I just stay here, but at the same time, and it was just a mess. And I literally had to pull up like a 15-minute anxiety relief meditation to make myself feel better. But then afterwards, honestly, I just felt empty. Like how like after like you cry or like have a lot of anxiety or something, like you just have that empty feeling. And I literally felt that. And that happened on like a Tuesday. I feel like that was like a precursor for me not doing so well on a Wednesday or Thursday. I can't remember. Let's just say I had one of those days. I started crying and I did not stop crying until I fell asleep. So yeah. So don't let, anything fool you with anyone. Everyone's always going through it. I may be smiling and stuff a lot, but I be going through it.
No, because like honestly, that just shows that like you never know what someone's going through or like what you will say and how that might like that person might take that in that moment depending on like what they're going through. Cause like I remember that situation, and like I know like none of us like meant to set that off on you or anything, Kennedy. And I know you know that too. But it just shows how like small comments can really like come out differently depending on like what situation everyone's in. And then another thing that like stood out to me is like when you were like I don't know like what's wrong with me type thing. And I feel like I have had that feeling going on in my head so much. And I feel like that just kind of results in more of like the loneliness feeling because it's like if I don't know what's going on with me, like why would someone else know what's going on with me or like how are they going to relate? So I feel like that just kind of results in like more loneliness or like self isolation kind of. There was something else I was going to say, but my mind is blinking right now. Maybe it'll come back to me.
And also a big thing that I feel like I struggle with in my mind with that's like a subset of loneliness is kind of like I have this like question all the time is like when is it gonna be me or like why not me? And so for me, like when I was spiraling, because like when you have these spiral moments, every other thing that you've ever worried about in your life, insecurity, yada yada yada, comes up all at once. So I was just like, why am I not content right now? When will I be fulfilled? Like, what is life? What is my purpose? Like, why do I not have like a lot of friends? Why is it hard for me to make friends? Why do I have to feel so lonely all the time? Like, kind of like honestly, kind of playing the victim sometimes a little bit in my mind, but it's just like I don't know, being like when I get in those feelings of feeling super lonely, it like it really gets to me. And I feel like a lot of that too is like I feel like I have some I don't know how to say it. Not like trauma, but like situations in the past that have made me feel alone so that like comes up again and then like I get triggered a little bit and I'm like, ooh.
The part you said about like all of those insecurities or like literally every single thing like going around your head resonated so much with me because I feel like these moments where I've had like this I'm not okay moments, literally everything that's like not good in my life comes up in my mind and it's like things I haven't even thought about in like weeks or months and it's really like heightened and even like the things that are good I feel like also just like come up and I like see some side negative or something, or like if I'm doing something wrong. And it's like so frustrating because you feel so like powerless, I think is the best way I can word it. Like you literally you don't know what's going on or like why your brain's thinking that way. And it's like why is this happening right now? Like, what can I do? Because you literally you don't even know what's going on. So it's like you don't know what's going on. So how are you even gonna fix it? It's literally like just your mind battling each other, battling itself. And I feel like for me too, I am like I guess this ties into like the oldest daughter or like oldest sibling vibe or whatever. I feel like I struggle so much with asking for help. Like even just like in general with like day to day stuff. I struggle with like going to ask for help for things because it's like I can figure it out for myself, or like I've had to figure it out for myself in the past or something. So it's like, I don't know, I feel like that trait or that quality is even more heightened when I'm going through my stuff in my head, because it's like, why am I going to ask for help, you know?
And from the younger siblings' perspective, which this might be a hot take, but I feel like people who are the only daughter in the family and eldest daughters, I feel like they low key have some things in common. But for me, as the youngest child and only daughter, I've struggled a lot with like not asking for help, but in the terms of I'd never want to feel like a burden to anybody. Like, yeah, I just never want to bother anybody. That's essentially it. I'm just a people pleaser. And I also wanted to comment on what you said about feeling powerless, because that is so real. Like, I just feel when I get in those moments, I just feel so out of control. And I hate that because obviously, as someone with anxiety, a lot of the things they have anxiety about is things you don't have control over, but you want control over it. So the fact that you can't control it does a lot.
That part, Kennedy. I feel like the whole like just the like independence, and then like not wanting to feel like a burden, you literally summarize everything. Like not wanting to feel like a burden, the independence, and then just like the loneliness together results in like a little mental breakdown when I'm just like crying and can't stop crying. Well, like the whole like not feeling like a burden really resonated with me, because I feel like at the end of the day, like I don't want to be a burden for someone else, or like, so I feel like that kind of ties into like just struggling to like speak about what I'm going through in my head, you know? And then also just like coming to terms with it, you know? I feel like the thing I've struggled with the most is just like not being able to put like a word or like a name on like what it is that I'm going through, you know? Cause like I genuinely don't know. I feel like it's all these it's everything at once. I don't know.
That's how I feel as well. Like I don't want to say like I'm feeling depressed. Well, okay, you can feel depressed and not have depression, but I'm just like, is that like extra though? Like, am I really? Because like sometimes I'm just like, you have your little breakdown or whatever, and then you sleep on it, and then you might not feel 100%, but you definitely feel better in the morning after letting yourself cry.
Don't know what to say, but like literally what you said is what I'm feeling too. Like, am I depressed? I don't know, you know? But at the same time, like, I am okay, but like, I'm not okay. Like, it's okay to have those moments of not being okay. And I feel like that's what those moments be kind of for me. I don't know.
Like you're not doing well, but like you're gonna get through it.
Yeah, like it's not the end of the world in the moment. I mean, in the moment, it kind of is the end of the world, but like, I know it's not. So, like, I'm gonna get through it. The question is when, though, because I feel like I've been going through it, you know?
No, literally, and that's the thing, because like I'm just like, have I ever really been happy? Like that's where I really get into my head in those moments. I'm like, have I ever really been happy? That's why I get in my head like, is this fake? Like, is this all fake? Like, what is my life? Oh, I remember what I was gonna say earlier. Sorry to switch gears. I told you I was gonna be chaotic, but about like, you have trouble like talking to other people about that. I feel that so much because I'm like, honestly, the person I should be talking about my feelings with is my therapist. So I always want to or I don't have a therapist, but like I should have a therapist. But and I want to make sure I don't ever want it to make it in like our friendship ever seem like I see you as a therapist, because like it's obviously healthy to rant to your friends, but like at a certain point it's like you shouldn't depend on your friends, like you shouldn't see them as like a therapist. So I never want to do that. So that's why, one, like realistically, if I were feeling some type of way, I would like maybe talk to a friend or two. But then at the same time, like they do not care. They have their own things to worry about, knowing good and well it was on the other end. If one of you guys came to me like, Kennedy, like, can I talk? I would be so open, ready to talk. But for some reason, like, I don't believe that I deserve that for some reason. I don't know what it is. Maybe just low confidence. I don't know.
That part, Kennedy, I feel like it's so easy to like be receptive of when other people are going through and like trying to help them. But then, like, being you who's like, and it's not even like necessarily asking for help, but it's just like talking about it. Do I want to put you in that position, or like, do I want to put myself in that position? I feel like is what it is.
Yeah. And at the same time, it's so like vulnerable. And it's like, I understand. Like, like, and like another reason why I wouldn't, necessarily go to a friend, it's nothing on them, but like at the end of the day, some people just won't get it. And like that's really fine. because not everyone goes through the same things. So it's like, why would I even waste my time when I know like they might not get it, and that's not meant to be like a bad thing, but it's just like, that's like part of my thing of like, I don't want to be a burden. Like they're not gonna get it anyways. Da 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 da.
The thing you just said about being vulnerable, yep. Like, I feel like it ties into like the whole like not wanting to be a burden. Like, I hate being vulnerable so much, y'all. Like, talking about my emotions, like, I don't even let myself feel my emotions. What do you mean I'm gonna open up to you about my emotions, you know? Like, I hate being vulnerable, and I know like there's nothing wrong with being vulnerable. Like, I know that. Like, it just because you know it though doesn't mean that it's easier or like any easier to actually do it. And I feel like just not even knowing like what it is that's going on, and then like being in a situation to be vulnerable, it makes it so much harder than it should be. Especially I feel like talking to people like that are close to you and that care for you, it's even harder to be vulnerable. Like, I'm not even like, I don't know, just I feel like last like 2 weeks ago, no, maybe like a month ago or something, I like kind of like broke down to my mom. And that was like so hard for me though, because like it's someone that I know cares so much for me and that like I care for them. And just being in that position of like being vulnerable, it's really like eye opening. I feel like I don't know where I'm going with this. My mind is all over right now.
That's interesting. I don't know why, but I've never been able to like open up to my parents in that way. And not in the sense of like, I don't feel comfortable to. It's like the whole thing. I don't want to worry them. I don't want to burden them. So I think it's interesting that you're able to do that.
Honestly, I'm not even gonna lie. I think it be happening in the moment when like I can't hold it in anymore. Like, trust. I don't like the whole being a burden. The person I don't want to be the burden to is like my parents, you know, like I don't want to be a burden to them. But I feel like in those moments, it's like I just can't contain it anymore. And I'm not gonna lie, it's not like I plan it or anything. I just start crying out of nowhere. Like one little, I remember in that specific situation, we were working and my mom like said something to me, and then I just like started crying. And then at the end when we got back home, she was like, so, and then I just started like bawling my eyes out.
No, because crying when someone says something to you is so real. Like it's not even like they don't even have to say something for real that's like really, like they just say something, you're like you just start crying.
No, and I feel like also with that, it's like a sense of being overstimulated in a really bad way, and then my body just reacts by like crying. Like, for example, here's my little work rant. So today I worked from like 12 to 5. I work at Bath and Body Works, by the way, and right now they had like a candle deal going on. And when I tell you, these people go crazy for some candles, like literally buying, I don't know, like 20 candles. It is not that serious, you guys. But anyways, I was doing like just restocking candles all day, and I got so overstimulated. Like the last hour of my shift, I could have started crying. Like if somebody said something to me, I would have started crying. Like I was like, I'm gonna go tell like the manager like I want to switch what I'm doing, and I was like, but I was literally, I felt like if I did go, or like when I did go tell her or whatever, like I could have just started crying in the moment. Really got her to like change me to something else, you know? But I don't know. I feel like just crying is like it's at least my body's way to react.
Me too. When I get very overwhelmed, overstimulated, like the first thing my body wants to do is cry. And I feel like I had not a similar situation, but like for my internship, I'm working on like a campaign, and the same day that I had like my little breakdown, truly, I think my internship is what triggered it that day. Because honestly, I'm gonna be so real. This is what happened. So I was sitting there working on it, and honestly, I've been struggling a little bit with my internship because it's been time consuming. I think I kind of realized like, oh, like I hate this, and that's just really like sent me through the roof. And like, if something bad would have happened to me after I got back to my apartment, oh, I would have busted out then instead of back to my apartment. Like I was just like, oh, like I kind of hate this. Like I'm feeling overwhelmed. So, and then just thinking about everything else, and then just like being just brain dead from the day. And yeah. So I totally understand just wanting to cry when you get very overstimulated.
And I feel like in those moments, at least for me recently, it's been moments of just like there's so much going on. I feel so overstimulated, but at the same time, my mind is literally empty. Like I feel like I have no emotions, but I do have hella emotions in my head. because obviously everything's going on up there. But it's just a moment of like you're just numb to everything, I feel like. And then that's when the little breakdown kind of starts.
In the moment, I'm just like, I wish I could just rest. Like, I just wish the world could just stop, take a pause. Like, I just need rest. I just need a pause. I need a break. Like, when I tell y'all, I'm in need of a vacation. I need to be on a sunny beach somewhere. Like, I just want to be somewhere, except not my present moment. If I'm gonna be so honest with you guys, like, I don't know why. I'm just like I have my journal in front of me to like remember, because like I kind of like black out in these moments. So, like, I can't remember all my feelings, but I wanted to make sure that I'm like being very open. So, like, and it's like, I don't know why, for some reason in my life right now, like, I hate everything, but I love so many things. But for some reason, all the things I hate are just really prominent in my mind right now.
That part, Kennedy. Wanting to be anywhere but right now is exactly how I'm feeling. Like, I can't even enjoy the good things in my life, I feel like, right now, because all this, the other is really overpowering the good right now. And it's really frustrating because it's like, I don't want to go, like, I don't want this to happen, but I'm not, like I said, powerless. Like, I'm not in control of what my mind is going through it right now. And I don't know, I feel like it's a lot of like, for me personally, it's a lot of like everything just jumbled together and like meeting all at once, I guess. Like literally every single insecurity I've ever had in my life, I feel like I'm currently feeling it right now. And then just like everyday situations mixed into that just doesn't help too. Like I just like I know that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Like I know that. I know I'm gonna be okay. But like right now, sometimes I don't be feeling that way.
Yeah, and I feel like for me, like, I hate like I hate my present moment so bad, because in my mind I'm like, all this work that I'm doing or and have been doing for the past couple years is going to lead to, like, my ideal life or whatever. And I'm just like, I want to get there. Like, like, I hate it here. Like, I want to get there, but not in the way of, I don't know how to describe it though. It's just like I feel so stuck, and I just don't know, like, I don't know, like, I just feel so stuck, and I just don't know where to go from here. But it's like, I know where I want to go, but I don't know necessarily how to go. And it's not really anyone that can help me. It's for me to kind of figure it out and be real with myself and just have patience. But I don't have patience. And I'm like, I hate it here. Let's skip forward to the good parts of life.
The feeling of stuck is literally how I'm feeling. It's like stuck and then everything is like passing you by at the same time and you're really numb to it. Kind of reminds me of like when I'm watching a TV show and we're in the slow burn part and it's not even a good slow burn right now. There is no tension or nothing going on. And I don't know, like when I'm watching a TV show and I'm getting a little bit bored of it and I'm like, do I even want to continue watching this? And then I'll look up some edits to see if it's like actually worth it at the end. That's how I'm feeling right now. Like we're in that the boring part of like, am I gonna continue this show or not? But then I know that there's good stuff at the end. Like I know that it's gonna like end good and everything, but I'm like, let's hurry it up. Let's get there already.
Exactly. Like, that's literally exactly how I feel. Like, we're just in the boring part. We've hit a little lull, but I feel like I've been in this lull for some years now, and I'm like, I'm tired of it. I don't know. For me, I feel like you would think, with me being like a routine person, and like that really helps my anxiety. I'm realizing that I think I like change a lot more. Like, I like to be on the go sometimes. I'm just like, there's so much that I just like want out of life after graduation. Like, I don't know. I feel like for me in this moment, I'm just feeling like, not that college is like stunting me, because I've talked a lot before about like how I should do like college, like the knowledge I've gained from it, but I'm just like, okay, like, it's not giving me what I want like in this current moment, and I'm like over it. Like, I want change, and I just want something new. Like, I just want to be like far away. I don't know, like, I got moments I'm like, I just want to be far away from everything, and then at some points I'm like, I just want to be at home with my family. To be honest, like, that would heal me.
That part, honestly, like for me, I've been like going home a lot kind of recently, and I will say it's not like there is reasons I'm going home, which like just going home because you want to, there's nothing wrong with that, you know? That is perfectly okay and I do indeed be doing that. But like I feel like in my family, we've had a lot of like get-togethers because everybody's like birthdays or like people are coming, things like that. And honestly, that's been really me getting through it. I'm not gonna lie, just like being able to like be at home and like surrounded by my family, like my parents and everything, it's just like really helps in ways that like I don't even know how or like why, but it just, I guess it's the comfort and like the feeling like it's okay, you know, like it's okay to not be okay. And there's these moments where it is okay and it is, you're gonna get through it, you know? And I feel like that's when I like really feel the emotions that I'm feeling at the same time though.
Yes, and I feel like when you're with your family, like you don't have to be on at all. Like you might have to be at school. And that's like part of the reason why like I want to get my master's. Well, one because the school is like the school that I would want to go to in my home state is the only one that has a master's I want, and because it's way closer to home. And I just want to be close to home for a couple of years because honestly, I feel like a lot of people, if you know me, you would be like, oh, like, yes, Kennedy's the type to like want to stay at home, but at the same time, I'm just like, I just want to be at home like for the next couple years, but then have that time and then just like move. Like, I don't know, I just want to be far away. But like, I just want the best of both worlds, to be honest. Yeah, that's like my plan, but like, I don't know. But I feel like I'm in that, like, you go through those phases where you just want to be close to home and then not close to home. Because, like, the university I'm at now, a part of the reason I really liked it was because it was far from everyone. Because I was going through it too then. But now I'm like, okay, I've had my time. I've had my time here. Now I just want to be close to family for a little while before, I spread my wings some more.
I do have like two questions. Not specifically like just for you, you know, like I can answer it too, you know, but I just like thought of it to like, you know. But I guess, you know, we have to discuss for the past many minutes how both me and Kennedy are going through it. I don't know if for you, Kennedy, if like this like going through it moment or like period that's been going on right now, is it like, do you feel like it's different from other times in a way? I don't know if I'm making sense.
Hmm, that's hard. I feel like yes and no. Because I would say the feelings that I'm feeling are pretty typical. Like, there are things I've been feeling. I just have never learned to manage with it for real. But the things that I'm getting triggered by, I guess you can say, are different, maybe.
I get that. I feel like for me, it's like I've had some of these feelings before, especially like the whole like, what am I doing, you know? But I feel like for me, it's the first time, I'm not gonna lie, where like I've felt these like just random breakdowns, like where I feel like the smallest thing, or like sometimes not even anything in particular, will just like trigger it. And I just be going through it in that moment. Like I mentioned earlier, I will literally just be driving and then I don't know, some lyric in some song, and then breakdown starts happening, you know? I feel like I've never really had that before of like feeling those emotions. And I was talking to like, well, I don't even know if I was talking to someone. I might have been just talking into my head, you know, in this, or like journaling or something. For me, I feel like it's a lot of like, I don't process my emotions. And I feel like in this moment, all of my emotions are out, and like I have to learn how to like process and deal with them. And I feel like I've had like recent situations in the past couple of weeks where like I've never felt certain emotions, and so I don't know how to process those emotions right now.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask, like, these emotions you're feeling, like I was gonna ask more so like what's triggering it. Like, is it simply just feeling overwhelmed, or is it like a combination of like a whole bunch of things?
I'd say it's like a combination of everything. I feel like primarily the overwhelmed, that one is like really out there, but the rest is really just like a whole bunch of like other. And I like, it really stuck out to me when you said like all those other like insecurities just like come out. Like, yeah, all those insecurities, they that have never like mingled, they're mingling right now in my head. Like, also like I'm gonna be so honest with you guys, like it'll be sometimes like, I don't know, like body image things, or just like relationship things, or like familial relationships, like not even like romantic relationships, just like relationships with people, like all of those emotions and things like that, they're all like jumbled up together right now in my head.
Heavy on the insecurities, only like not even like body image, yada yada yada. Like, recently, like I go through these phases, but like really it's been hitting where it's like I'm fine. I'm like, I just want to change everything about me. Like, I remember I asked my friends like about context. I'm just like, I need change because obviously something in this present moment is just like, is I'm just not clicking. So I'm like, I just want to change everything. And so, and then like even like relationship, like, where's my man? I don't know. Am I ever gonna get up? I don't know. Even though I try to be hopeful. But sometimes that hope is not there. And yeah, body image wise, I'm just like, I'm doing all this working out. Why do I not have my dream body yet? Like, what's going on? Even though there's obviously multiple factors in that. And yeah, it's just a lot sometimes.
I said, like, when you were speaking, I said that part to something. I can't remember what it was I said that to, but you spoke some facts. But also, that just like really brought up in my head the whole feeling with all of that of just like, what am I doing wrong? That has been in my head so many times. Literally, like, the small situations like what did I do wrong, or like why didn't this happen, or like what if I had this, like all those what if scenarios or like what if situations is all that's going on in my head. So like that mixed with like the whole other is no bueno.
Heavy on the what am I doing wrong because what am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? I wish the Lord would tell me.
Especially when you have like good stuff going on in your life. Like I have right now some moments where like everything's going perfect, like things are finally happening. But at the same time, all this other stuff, it's like, what am I doing wrong? Why isn't this happening? Or like, what did I do wrong? And then the what am I doing wrong mixed with those insecurities, it's the mental breakdown happens.
And then again, like I mentioned earlier, then leads to me being like, why am I not content? All these good things are happening. Why can't I just be happy for that? Like, why is that not enough? Like, what is wrong with me for the good things I have in my life right now to not be enough? Like, what?
Kennedy, why am I not content? Literally.
And like, I'm a manifestation girly. And like, one of the biggest things is like, for your manifestations to come through, like, you have to already be grateful for what you have. So I'm like, why can't I be grateful for what I already have? Like, it's so annoying that I can't do that.
And sometimes I feel like it's you are grateful for that, but there's this other thing that's missing. So it's like you can't fully be grateful for it.
Exactly, especially when you like put so much work into something or just have so much hope for something as well. Like, I'm gonna get real vulnerable, you guys. Not really. I don't want anyone to take this the wrong way. Cause like I know me and Liz joke a lot about like, oh, like when this podcast blows up or whatever. But like I really do want this podcast to do well. And like especially like with me, like I put in so much work into this podcast and like that it's just the name of the game for social media. Literally, like I have to remind myself, like everyone big you know now, whether it's TikTok, YouTube, podcasting, they have been putting years into what you're seeing now. So I always have to remind myself that. It's like me and Liz haven't even been doing this, probably not even a half a year. We're like not even 50 episodes in. So it's obviously we're very tiny. No one knows this yet. And like that's just the name of the game. But like I just have so much just like hope. And like I can like honestly I wouldn't have done this podcast if I didn't think it would have been if it would have been able to like be something and go somewhere and be something that I'm not confident in. And so, and then I'm not proud of. And so sometimes I'm like, but like the fact that I even have a podcast with one of my best friends, which is like, is like a very cool thing. I'm like, why can't that just be enough? You know what I mean? Like me and Liz, we just have fun every week doing this. So like, why can't that be enough? You know what I mean? So like, I get upset about that with myself.
The part that you said about you get upset about it with yourself, I feel like that just goes into like the whole like you're your biggest hater or like your biggest critique or whatever. And so like it's what am I doing wrong? Like why isn't this happening? Like all those like what if and whys, and you take it out on yourself, which is like the worst part of it. But like we're all doing it, you know? And I feel like sometimes you see someone who like has their life like picture perfect, but they're also behind the scenes are like going through it.
Exactly that, which is why I wanted to do this podcast episode.
I guess I have like a concluding question for you, for me, for both of us. What's next? I guess.
What's next in terms of what? Like what's next in our journey and our mental health journey?
I guess, or like, or should it be like takeaway, like your takeaway from like you've been going through it, you know, or like, are you still going? Like, I don't know how to.
Like an update, kind of. Like,
Oh, yeah, that's perfect. We'll do that. Okay.
yes.
Okay. What's like your current update, Kennedy? We've discussed what's been going on, what has happened. What's next for you? What's your update?
After my little breakdown moment, I said, okay, I cannot do this. I cannot continue having 2 really bad mental health days in a row. Since then, have been like, okay, we're going back to the drawing board. We're going to start working out more, make sure drinking more water, really show up for myself. Essentially, that show up for myself to make myself feel better. And it has been working. I do have to say, it's crazy what happens when you take care of yourself. You feel better. So I've been doing that.
I guess for me, like what's now, I feel like I am still having like these bad mental health days, I'm not gonna lie. But like I said, it's the most random thing that will trigger them. Like I don't even know. But I think honestly, this just like talking about it because I really haven't like processed, I feel like, my bad mental health days or like what's been going on kind of in my head. So I feel like just being able to like talk to Kennedy and like talk to you guys or whatever is how I'm processing or like what I'm doing kind of. And I think just really like knowing that like you can open up to people, you can talk about this stuff, you need to in order to like get through it kind of, I feel like. And it's okay to be vulnerable and all that kind of stuff. So I feel like for me is also kind of just like putting in work into like myself, like the things that I do know that I can fix, like working on that, because at the end of the day, like you're your biggest hater, but you're also the only person who's gonna be able to like change anything or like fix anything, so I think just those little steps is like a step in the right direction. And just because you do all that doesn't mean that those bad mental health days aren't gonna happen. And just like knowing that that's okay. It's okay to not be okay.
Period. I co-sign everything Liz said. And I'm feeling grateful that, me and Liz had this talk today. I feel like this is the most like vulnerable me and Liz have been, just like one-on-one with each other.
That part, like literally me and Kennedy have known each other for years. And that just goes to show how like it is so hard to talk about this kind of stuff, but it shouldn't be hard, Like it should be okay and normal to like talk to someone when you're not doing okay, or just talk about when you weren't doing okay.
Yes. You guys, I'm a little nervous for this next thing that I thought of. So I was thinking a way to end this episode off because, we've been a little heavy. It's a little longer episode for us, but I hope you guys, enjoyed. And I thought it would be good to share some lines from my journal entry from when I was going through my breakdown, just in a way to be like, reiterate, like, you're not alone. We all feel the same things. And then there is hope on the other side because, at least for me, from the day I wrote this, I definitely do feel a lot better. Definitely still not 100%. I still feel some darkness in my chest. But I think, like I said earlier, continuing to show up for myself will definitely help. So I'm just going to share a couple lines. And then, yeah, maybe Liz will have, some things to say. And I'm sorry, okay, if I like laugh or something, because like sometimes when you're out of this state, you're like, why was I so dramatic? So please don't laugh at me or make fun of me. Okay, I'm not gonna read the full thing. I'm just gonna read certain things that I think could resonate with other people. Okay, let me stop rambling. Okay. So the title of this entry was I literally can't look at Liz when I do this. Why is sadness always with me? I wish I could always be happy. My mood swings are so up and down. I don't know what's wrong with me. I feel like crying, but cannot think of a reason to. But at the same time, I can think of a million. I was really so happy and didn't have a care in the world like 24 hours ago. And now I feel my fellow friend, oh my god, darkness and sadness coming. Oh, she was dramatic. I'm feeling so overwhelmed and disconnect with everything in my life right now. I want my present moment to be enough so bad, but I think, ooh, okay, I can't see that. I feel so alone and upset. Nothing triggered me, but here I am with nothing to do but cry and journal. Oh god, bless her heart. I think the biggest theme in my mind right now is why not me? Why do I not have a lot of friends? Why do I have to feel lonely? When will I find my life purpose? When will I finally feel content and satisfied? Ew, this is cringe. Why do I not have a boyfriend? Oh my glasses took me. See the cringiness. Why am I only sometimes seen as the funny friend? Why am I so sad? Why? Love that song. I don't know what life is at this moment. I want so much out of this beautiful life, and I believe I will get it, but at the same time, I think he doesn't want me. I don't know what to do. I feel so lost but blank. I'm just going through the motions. I have so much good in my life right now, but I'm hating it so much. What does this mean? I'm tired of feeling sad all the time. I just want to get to the point slash part of life I deserve, but can't help but feel that I'm being held back, and I don't know what to change. I feel so out of control, and my thoughts are not clear. I hate everything, but love it at the same time. And then I went off the rails, so we're just gonna skip that. I basically said I just want to break from everything. I'm a mess right now, and I can't fix it, and I don't know what I'm doing, what's wrong with me. And yeah, that's essentially it. So a little dark at times, a little dramatic. But that's how I felt. That was my truth. And I hope sharing that resonated with some people and that you guys feel better and just know that I went from that mindset to feeling at least 50% better today. So it does get better.
Kennedy, are you like in my head? Because literally everything you wrote is exactly how I've been feeling. Like the whole part about I have nothing to cry about, but I have a million things to cry about. Um, why am I sad all the time? Why not me? Yeah, literally if anybody's ever wondered what I'm going through, Kennedy just was in my brain or something. But that just again goes to show like you might think you're alone, like you feel lonely, but everyone else is also like having those same emotions and feelings and everything.
Well, I'm glad it hit for you because I was like, because even when you said that, when I was like thinking about reading it, I was like, well, I don't know, like it might not really resonate, but the fact that it resonated with you, I'm glad.
Yeah. Now I know who to come to. But any last thoughts you have, Kennedy?
Nope, mine real empty.
Everything that was in our brain, now y'all know. But anyways, if you guys made it this far into the episode, because it is a long one and a very chaotic one, you are a real one. As always, thank you guys so much for listening to the Girls Lounge with Liz and KT. We were really open with y'all. Honestly, really enjoyed doing this episode though. So if you guys enjoyed it, let us know, and we will definitely do something else with this. But anyways, we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.